Hi peaches, it's Shaaba. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another video. It's Monday and you know what that means. It is time for us to go fishing for a-holes. Why? Because it's a little bit of fun, a little bit of juicy drama. We can hopefully help a couple of people out whilst expanding our own mindsets along the way. Oh, hey friend, a book for me? Surfshark and the Wizard of Oz. Let's do it. Once upon a time there was a scarecrow browsing the internet looking for brains. He wasn't clever enough to use a VPN and so the wizard, known con man, stole his data. The Tin Man, doesn't have a heart, bless, was on dating sites looking for love, but unfortunately using public Wi-Fi and being so naive, he matched with scammers instead who stole his data too. Oh, and the Lion, well, he was too scared to look for what he wanted until Surfshark came to the rescue, of course. Serving safety, privacy, and fabulousness, Surfshark VPN swapped the real location of all of their devices to other ones around the world, encrypting their data and keeping them safe from all the scammers and phishing attempts in Oz and the flying monkeys. Oh, there's more? He then held a movie night in Oz for all of his friends to attend because Surfshark VPN unblocks content libraries from all around the world, no matter where you are. Safe and fun. Oz then celebrated by giving all of their citizens 4 months free when they signed up to Surfshark VPN using this little QR code or this link. And Finn, pun intended. Boop. As you peaches know, I've been a long-time fan and user of Surfshark. I truly love this collaboration. They're so fun to make and I truly use Surfshark every single day. If you'd like to increase your safety online too, all of the details are downstairs in the description box. There's even a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk. Alright, my loves, are we ready to go fishing? Bloop. Am I the drama for telling my friend her breakup was an inappropriate topic at my engagement party? Oh, I feel like we're starting spicy here. I'm a 32-year-old man and my fiance, a 30-year-old woman, had an engagement party this summer. The party was great. We had a good time with friends and family, etc. Congratulations. However, one thing really bugged both me and my fiance. Dun dun dun, said drama hot mess friend. I have a friend. Let's call her Madison. She's 32 and she was invited to the party and is someone that I've been friends with for a long time, since junior high. So that's about 11 years old for non-US people. Thank you, OP. I am not a US person. These dates always confuse me, but 11 years old, that is a long-term friendship. I see you. On the day of the party, she told us that she broke up with her boyfriend. We consoled her and cared for her and tried to make sure that she was okay whilst also organising the party. We had 200 guests. Wow. So there was a lot of food, drinks and organising to do. Absolutely. That's a big party. Let's read on for now. When Madison arrived to the party, the only topic that she spoke about was breaking up with her boyfriend. The first thing she said to me and my fiance was about breaking up and then asking a bunch of inappropriate questions, related, oh no, about personal relationships to try and compare against her failed one, oh no, and telling us things about her breakup, not congratulating us. I see. Okay, I have thoughts, but we're going to keep reading for now. We of course wanted to enjoy the party, so we tried to console and then change conversations to lighten the mood, but that didn't really work, and essentially it was the only thing that she spoke about all night to us and any of the 200 or so guests that we had. She proceeded to get drunk and then talk in detail about her woohoo life to our friends. Quite a few people commented on this to us and said that she was quite overbearing. Oh no, this goes beyond just her talking about it to you then. She is just like making a spectacle of herself at this party. I can see why you wouldn't enjoy that. Nor did the other guests, apparently. On the night, I didn't bring it up with her because I didn't want to cause a scene and ruin the party, and generally did have a good night. However, this stuck in both me and my fiance's mind, and we didn't like the fact that she couldn't celebrate us and have a good night. Oh, alright, now feels like a good time to unpack. I totally do not blame your friend Madison for the fact that she had a breakup. That sucks. You can't time these things. You often hear about like bridezillas, groomzillas. An engagement party is a big deal with 200 people. That's a lot of pressure, right, for things to go right. And whilst I totally appreciate you wanting to like have a great time, you obviously can't plan for these things, and nor can Madison. So I think it's really sweet that you still spent the time to talk with her. That didn't seem to be your problem. The problem is how far she's going, how she didn't congratulate you at all, and how she just continued with the negativity, which honestly isn't okay. I've actually been in this exact situation at my engagement party with Jamie. I mean, it wasn't 200 people big, whew, but at my engagement party, 2 of my friends came up to me and said, hey, I just want to let you know that we've broken up. And I was so sad. I had no idea what to say. I had no idea what to do. I had no idea how to treat the situation, but they were absolute stars about it. They were like, this has happened. We are not going to let it affect the day. We're just letting you know because we don't want to be sort of like seated together, that kind of thing. So like if that can be dealt with and just like acknowledged in the ways that contextually it needs to, that is everything. But we are so happy to be here. We are so happy to celebrate you. Let's go boogie on the dance floor, which we then did separately with each of them. And I know it might sound like weird, But it was very easy in that moment because everything was so overwhelming and there was so much happening to be like, we love you both. We're really sorry to hear this news. We will unpack it later, but let's get on with the night. And it was actually a really good, lovely evening. Despite that being in my mind, it wasn't front of mind. And I'm sorry if that might sound selfish to some people, but because it was such a big moment and there was so much going on, there were so many people around, it was very easy to sort of pop that in a box. Do you see what I mean? Based on that, I can totally see why you did what you did, how you can continue having a good night with you and your loved ones, and why you would expect a guest to do the same, because if they attended, and that's the thing, right? Madison didn't have to come. If she wasn't feeling in a great place to come, she could have gone home. She could have been like, you know what, I thought I could do this, but I can't, and I'm having to excuse myself. Or she could have just not come at all because a sad thing happened. And in either situation, I wouldn't have blamed her. But the fact that she then made the event about herself, she made a hot mess of herself, getting way too drunk, mentioning it to other guests, being so intrusive and not seeming to acknowledge sort of like the situation in which she's in, that does, in my opinion, make her the drama so far. Shall we read on though? Let's read on. Okay. I spoke to Madison about it a week later and said that her talking about her breakup all night wasn't very nice to us and brought the atmosphere down, and that she could have just enjoyed the night instead. That's interesting, because reading it how you've written it, I can see why someone might put their back up. Do you see what I mean? Like being like, oh, you could have just enjoyed the night instead. That's very different to being like, I know how you're feeling and I totally respect how you're feeling, but this wasn't the right place for you to bring it up in the way that you did, and so I wish that that was approached differently, and I'm letting you know because we've got a wedding coming up. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is very different to, look, you should have just enjoyed yourself, okay? It was a party, you're here to celebrate me, not talk about your breakup. I can see how, depending on how you said it, it would have been taken differently, but let's read on. I also said that it made us feel annoyed that we didn't like that you did that, and please could you not do it in the future? And by future, I imagine OP is talking about the inevitable wedding if you're having an engagement party, right? At the time of the conversation, Madison agreed and apologized. Oh, cute, good, fair. But then some days later texted and said actually we were wrong for bringing it up, and that she thinks it's strange that we were bothered by her being upset, and that all her friends agree that we are the weird ones, oh no, and that she didn't say anything inappropriate to anyone, which isn't true. So I think she's in denial about this part, or embarrassed to admit it, or perhaps forgotten, right? Because if somebody is very drunk, maybe they don't know. It's also clearly an overwhelming time for her, so maybe you're right, she has just popped that in a box and not realised how she acted. She also said that she was upset and that we should just be supporting her, and we are not good friends for even bringing it up. We're now at a stalemate, as I don't want to apologise, and Madison has pretty much taken her apology back. Therefore, am I the drama for being annoyed about Madison only talking about her breakup and intimate relationship details at the party, and 2, for then bringing it up to ask her to not do it again and to make her aware that we didn't like what she did? Okay, before Madison took back her apology, I was going to say no drama here. I love this little badge. I think it's the cutest little badge, and it's a badge that we sadly don't see more of. But I think because she's done that, I'm going to say not the drama. I don't think that you are the drama at all. And the reason why I would have given this badge beforehand is because I don't think the stuff beforehand warrants calling Madison the drama. Yes, she was a hot mess, but she apologized, and because she knew it was wrong, I kind of feel like we all make mistakes, and within the context of what she'd just been going through, she clearly didn't have the capacity in that moment to think beyond her own experience. Yes, she made a little bit of a fool of herself, but at the same time, when does any party ever go amazingly well? Especially when you have 200 people, someone's bound to make a little bit of an embarrassing moment, It's not something that will make the guests think badly of you, and it's not something that ruined your night because you still had a wonderful night. So for that reason, I'm very happy to, in my mind, be like, okay, I can see how this was a mistake. She's apologized after you brought it up. She understands your point of view, and she's now going to be very conscious that she doesn't do this again going forward with your pending nuptials. That's a phrase that I never thought I'd say before. Pending nuptials. Anyway, I also see why you're annoyed by it, and I don't think that there was a drama in you being annoyed or in you bringing it up. In any of this, I don't see how you're the drama at all. I do think that Madison, therefore, did become the drama when she rescinded her apology. I don't know what advice she's getting from these friends. I can totally see how someone could feel some kind of way and be like, oh, I'm so sad, because maybe even still thinking very insularly, I needed the support and you weren't able to give me that support. And I get it, you want support from your friends, but your friends were giving you the support that they could. It was just the wrong place. When people say wrong time, wrong place, this was absolutely wrong time, wrong place. And even then, OP and fiance didn't shut you down at the wedding, which they could have done. They let you do your thing. They tried to console you, even though you're asking really weird questions. They waited until afterwards, and they brought it up in a way that very clearly was like, hey, we're just letting you know that this wasn't okay and we don't want it to happen again. I don't see how anyone who's being fully informed can be mad at that. So I'm feeling like maybe what's happened is she's like, oh, darn, I'm feeling embarrassed and mad about this, and she's gone want to rant to her friends but told a very one-sided version of this story. And the reality is the truth probably lies somewhere in between both of these accounts. But even so, considering the context of what's happening, considering the fact that other people were also saying that you were overbearing, as in Madison was overbearing, and considering that Madison was understanding enough in the moment where it was being explained by the people who had the problem, right, to then apologize, I just feel like Madison's friends have really steered her into the wrong direction. So yes, you are not the drama. Madison absolutely is the drama. Madison's friends are also the drama, and I really hope you have a wonderful wedding. It kind of sounds like either way, Madison's going to be very aware of this conversation and will not be bringing things up at your wedding. The question maybe is to whether she comes at all now, which would be really sad if she doesn't, but I'm super hoping that like time and a little bit of perspective will be able to help. I do understand how frustrating it can be though when you have a conversation with someone, because like that takes energy. It's a very vulnerable energy. It's a very adrenaline filled moment to be like, hey, I love you and I'm really sorry, but I'm having to say that you hurt me in this moment. And you explain these things and you think it goes well and you get closure from a situation and you move on, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, the problem is still probleming. It's happened far too many times for my liking, and it typically happens when there's other people being very manipulative in my experience. So I feel for you, OP, but you're definitely not the drama. Oh, should we see what other people have to say? Not the drama. The engagement party was a day for you and your fiance, not a therapy session. And no, bringing up your boundaries and telling her to back off doesn't make you the drama. Imagine if she comes to the wedding with the same attitude. Totally agree. There's an edit here as well to say congratulations on your engagement, and I totally agree. Congratulations, my love, just in case I didn't say it before. OP's responded and said, yes, this is a big concern for us. We're not really sure about her invitation to the wedding anymore if we can't have a simple civil conversation with her. I totally feel you. You know what? I think the best thing in these situations, or for anyone else who might be in a similar situation where something was said and then taken back and something else has now been said and you're like, what is going on? The solace that I take from these situations is to know that if I'm just honest about how I feel, and if I approach these situations with an attempt to be like, okay, you're clearly not trying to hurt someone because you apologized, you're just now seeing something differently, and I need to uncover and be fully informed with how that happened so that I can try and understand your point of view. No one's like being a bad person. That gives me a lot of solace, you know? Your friend apologized once before. She saw your point of view, but something changed, and so we need to understand that to get back to a place where we can find closure and move on. And it may be that she's really justified in that. It may be that there was a hurt that she was feeling that she didn't express to you beforehand, and maybe her other friends helped you see that. It doesn't excuse her behavior, but if it's something that she's wanting to bring up and it's something that you can acknowledge and sort of respect how she felt, and at the same time she can respect how you felt about the way she acted, there's a clear path moving forward. Does that make sense? That made sense in my head. I like to see these situations more as like a wrinkly dress that just needs a little bit of ironing out, and that's really easy to do when we are calm and level-headed and can approach this with a solution mindset of, let's get out these wrinkles, as opposed to being like, what the frick? Who made these wrinkles? I'm not talking to you. You know, have that conversation, OP, identify those wrinkles, iron out those wrinkles, and have a wonderful time at your wedding with your friend who's going through a sad situation right now and also needs your support, and that's okay once we get past the wrinkles. So she wasn't apologizing to begin with, says another commenter. You're under no obligation to keep her around, especially since you've been friends for so long, and she's still acting like a child. I don't think this is very fair. I definitely think that her apology could have been real to begin with, and it may have been other people that made her feel differently about the situation after, but that doesn't mean that the apology in the moment wasn't correct. It may have also been that her apology wasn't genuine, but then why would she have given it in the first place and then mentioned something after saying that she's spoken with other friends? I feel like this is a bit of an assumption and not approaching this with a wrinkle fixing mindset. OP said the super weird part is when we initially spoke, she did apologize, but she then took it back a few days later after talking with her other friends, and we're both slightly baffled by this. I think it's quite clear where it's coming from. OP does go on to say that childish behavior has been a running theme throughout the friendship, because in other cases she just can't see anyone else's perspective and has lost friends because of it. Maybe this is also the case here. It'd be such a shame if this is the thing that like breaks a friendship. However, this is speaking to something way greater, right, than this specific issue at hand, and I really feel like the situation would benefit with you directly speaking with her again. Oh, I hope it gets better, OP. Sending you lots of luck and positive vibes for your wedding. Shall we do another boop? Am I the drama for buying a violin even though my mother said not to? This sounds so bizarre. Oh, let's see. My mother isn't the biggest fan of instruments, or rather the constant noise that comes from learning them. Oh, that's so mean. Everyone's like a learner before they're a good driver, right? Everyone's a white belt before they're a black belt. The learning's part of the process. Having said that, I do think back to my neighbours who who had kids who learned to play the recorder over summer, and I can understand partly where the mum's viewpoint is coming from. It doesn't mean that we stop them from being able to learn ever, but we're entitled to be a little bit annoyed. She puts up with the ones that I do play, piano, guitar, and drums, but my mum has always had a rule, no violins. I assume it's because they're very difficult to learn and sounds horrible while you're learning. Really? I don't know, like, the drums are pretty loud, dude. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a problem with the violin, why would you not have a problem with the drums? Let's read on. I've always wanted to learn the violin, so I recently decided to buy one and learn to play it. I knew my mum wouldn't approve, so I came up with a plan. This is so sad. I don't know why I'm feeling so sad for OP. I wasn't going to tell her until I got really good at it, and then I was going to play a song for her, preferably at a big event, like her birthday. I was really excited about it, as I thought I'd surprise her and make her really proud. Oh. How old are you, OP? I need to know. I don't think we're told this information, but it sounds like you're coming from a really wholesome place. Let's read on. I bought one a few weeks ago, along with a course from Udemy, and I've been practicing it every time she leaves the house. Unfortunately, she found out last night. I wanted to practice, but I couldn't because she was home, so I decided to go to the garage where she wouldn't hear me, but I forgot that we had a doorbell camera, so as I walked out of the front door and across our driveway, she saw the violin case on the footage. Oh, this is odd. She called me and asked who gave me a violin, and I tried to save it by claiming it was my guitar, but seeing as my guitar was sitting on the bed, she quickly saw through the lie. Doll. Why is she so against the violin? I'm really hoping we're getting an answer to that question. I didn't know what to do, so I hung up. She called me back a couple more times, but I didn't answer. I was trying to think about whether or not to keep lying or if I should just tell her the truth. Less than a minute later, I decided to go inside and talk to her, but then my sister came out and told me that my mum was very upset and had gone to bed. Is she upset about the lie or the violin? What is with this violin? We need to get this mum on a therapy couch talking about a violin. Maybe it's not the sound. I'm thinking maybe it's got to do with like a past trigger. Maybe somebody she knew that she'd rather not know played the violin. OP says, I went inside and I sent her a text saying that I was sorry and I didn't mean for it to happen like this, but I didn't get a response. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be laughing. It's just like, normally when you're this apologetic, it's because you've done something very wrong. I can see how the lie may be something that mum is very upset about, but this isn't like you've cheated or you've had a massive argument. Like, you were going to practice an instrument, dude. The next morning she was obviously ignoring me, so I just left her and I didn't try to say anything because I thought she needed time. She didn't speak to me at all except to say she wasn't going to uni open day with me. This is really bizarre behavior. I have to say, like, at this point, this is just bad parenting from mum. You know, like, to ignore, to give silent treatment, to not have conversations, and now to be like, oh, and I'm going to let it impede on our future plans. At least this gives us a bit of a time frame, though, to your age. You're doing A-levels. You're just before university, so you're coming up to 18, right? This is really odd behavior. You should be able to be allowed to play an instrument that you want to play. I don't buy the whole no sound. You were going somewhere else where she couldn't hear it. So what's the issue? At about 3, I decided to go and apologize and sort things out. I tried to say sorry and admit that I messed up, but she was so upset. She kept telling me that I had lied and deceived her, which I kind of did on the phone call, and I realized now that I probably should have just come clean then. I agree with that, but I don't think that makes you the drama in the situation. She said that I'd done this maliciously and that I meant to hurt her by playing the violin? I kept trying to say that I didn't mean to hurt her and that I just wanted to be able to surprise her, but she kept saying that I did it selfishly and that I never once thought about the impact and effect it would have on her because I can't see past my own nose. Dude, this is so much bigger than noise of a violin. Whatever issue mum has, mum is not telling you. There is part of the story that is not making sense and is so unfair, I think, on you that you are like feeling like you have the onus to say sorry, bearing the brunt of this like hurt. This is not okay. She said I wasn't sorry that I hurt her, but I was only sorry that I got caught. That's what you say to cheaters, not people trying to play the strings. It probably didn't make it any better that she was the only one in the family who didn't know. I understand that she's hurt, but I don't understand why she can't see that I truly didn't mean to hurt her. I don't understand why she's hurt, unless the hurt is literally just from the deception, but in which case that doesn't make sense because why would she say no in the first place? Like, that is still very confusing to me. You are like 17, 18, you want to play violin. There are other boundaries that could be put in place if she doesn't like the sound of the violin. Like, do it in the garage, which you were doing. Something's not making sense here. Nah. We need to see if OP has said anything else. No, there's nothing else that's said about the why. I'm so confused. Let's see what other people have to say. You are the drama, says someone. She asked you not to buy an instrument she doesn't like. You did so anyway after creating a bunch of justifications in your head to make yourself feel better. Okay. You are the drama. Gently. I think that even though you had good intentions, you shouldn't have bought the violin. It sucks because I can tell how passionate you are about music and how much you enjoy learning different instruments. I too play piano, bass, guitar and drums myself, but considering how understanding your mum's been about everything else that you've been doing, especially with the drums, like, come on, they're the definition of constant noise. I agree, which is why I'm so confused about this violin justification just being about sound. You should have accepted that one rule that she gave you and not gone behind her back. I'd give her space, let her cool off, apologise, and then put the violin away until you move out. This isn't sitting right with me. This just isn't sitting right with me. Why is everyone here saying you are the drama? Does your mum have some unresolved issues about the violin? This is like the only comment that I can see that's like somewhat relating to my point of view. Not the drama. That is my badge OP. I don't think you're the drama. I was maybe going to say everybody sucks here, and maybe the fact that I'm seeing so many you're the dramas like influencing me to say that. But no, I don't understand why your mum doesn't want you to play violin in the first place. That is where my issue is coming from. My mum always had a rule, no violin. I assume it's because they're difficult to learn and sound horrible when you're learning. But as you said, that's the only justification that you've given. You don't know that that's the case. She hasn't said that that's the case, and she's been upset at the fact that you have the violin, not the fact that you have been playing it and it has been very quiet elsewhere. This is very, very weird to me. I would really put money on the fact that mum has a greater issue that's far beyond noise. I definitely feel like mum's displayed some really poor parenting here by 1, giving the silent treatment, which you shouldn't be doing to your child anyway, 2, letting that go beyond a day, and 3, letting that go into other areas of your life that could really affect you, like university open days, and then 4, going on to not only approach it with you, like you are the one that went to go and speak with her, and you did that to apologise, and you like admitted to your wrongdoings. She then went that one step further to try and tell you how you feel. You're saying, look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. She's like, no, you did. Like, clearly this is more than noise. This is weird. This is very weird. I cannot at all think about you being the drama. I cannot believe that you've been given the badge. Arsehole. What? And I totally disagree with all of these people here being like, oh, she gave you one rule and you didn't follow it. Like, no, we don't follow rules blindly. We need to understand the justifications. You were under the assumption that it was because of noise. You did everything you could to circumnavigate that in terms of noise. You bought the violin yourself. You were doing something to be kind to her. Like, you wanted to like be like, surprise, I've learnt it. If you aren't given the justifications for why something is in existence, I don't think it's fair to just expect you to blindly follow it. Could you have even said, hey, I've got a violin, I'm going to be playing it, and these are the ways that I propose to minimize the noise before you did that? Yes, but none of that compares to me to the terrible post-parenting moves from mum, and of equal value to me, the fact that she imposed such an odd rule in the first place, considering your age and the fact that you play other instruments like the drums that are already so loud. That's my badge. That is my badge. I feel very like clear cut on this. What do you think, Peaches? Let me know downstairs. All right, should we go fishing again? Now, boop. Am I the drama for wanting commission from my dad? Oh, business and family, let's see. I have another full-time professional career, but I've paid thousands of dollars ongoing training and licenses to also become a real estate agent on the side because my dad wants my mum, who also got her license just for this, and I to sell houses that he builds. Wow. He's had bad experiences with pretty much all of his previous realtors. Okay, that's kind of odd. I'm thinking that you've not got commission, but you've paid a lot of money out. Let's see. His house building businesses went under during the 2008 crash, so he's been doing other jobs for the past decade plus. But he wanted to get back into the building business because it's what he loves and he's great at it, especially the designing part. He has a great way of building a house so that every part of it is functional and flows well. He truly makes a beautiful and cost-effective product. That's very cool. And it sounds like you are also being very respectful, which I'm noting and definitely does bias my view to thinking that you're a very reasonable person. Let's go. We've already built and sold one house. He found the lot for that one on his own, so he asked me to find more lots to build on. I believe I've currently paid more out towards my real estate license than I've earned in commission, that split half with my broker, then half with my mum. Wow, okay, so you get like 25% of everything that you make. Okay, so I was happy to run an MLS search, which is only available to Jews paying real estate agents, okay, and I found multiple lots and offered to go out and look at them with him and the rest of the family, vocalizing that I want to earn some more commission. Okay, so you did the work that you could only do because you have these real estate licenses. You said you were willing to do more work, saying you wanted more commission, so you're establishing that you believed you deserved commission for the work that you've done already. That's what I'm hearing. I hope I've understood that correctly. Instead, he goes out on the lots himself and negotiates to buy a few that are in a really good location. He didn't even tell me that he was going to do it until an hour before meeting with the seller, at which point he called me to ask to do a county auditor search to find what information I could about previous transfers and values of the lots, which I did, and I sent him the information within the hour so that he could have the information for the negotiation. The fact that he didn't call you earlier and then he called you an hour before, despite you like offering and saying, hey, I want to come, that to me feels very calculated, especially because the purpose of his call was to again get information that I presume only you can get because you have access to it through your license, which he doesn't have. I'm also kind of confused as to why your commission is also being split with your mum, because like your mum has her own license. Let's finish and then we will unpack. I asked how much commission I'll be getting on the lot sale, and he said he'll pay me for the sale of the house, which I'd split with my broker and my mum, but not on the sale of the empty lot that he's now going to build upon. I felt like if anyone else had done this to me, I would never speak with them again, much less do business with them and promote their product. My parents would mock my grandpa for being selfish, saying things like, if you can't screw over family, who can you screw over? Ooh. They would call him immoral for how he treats family, and now I feel the same way about them. My dad acts like I'm just being greedy because he negotiated directly with the seller and I would be selling the end product anyway, but I can't help feeling like I've been taken advantage of. What do you think? Am I being greedy? Am I the drama? My initial thought is you are not the drama here, OP. But honestly, I don't fully understand housing. I do understand the process of like adding value. 1 second. There's two things going on in my mind. Number one, despite the fact that I don't fully understand this process, it is clear that if this was anybody else and not your dad, you would have cut them off. You've just said, I'd never want to speak with them again, much less do business with them. So it's clear that that's normally what you would be expected to do, to get commission on that sale. It's also two separate sales, right? But regardless, let's try and take this and put it to a different situation. If I went to B&Q, a DIY hardware store, and I was like, hey, I would like to sell tables here. I build tables. I'm going to make a table that you can then go on to sell. And B&Q are like, yeah, cool. We sell tables. I actually don't know if they sell wooden tables. This is just an example, right? It would be very odd if I then went, hey, give me the wood and I'm not going to pay for the wood and I'm not expecting to pay for the wood because when I make the table, you're going to get your sale from that. It's a bit of a different situation though, because the person giving the wood in this situation is the person selling the land, not the person getting the commission. I don't know if that was just really weird, but it definitely helped me in my mind. Even though it wasn't a perfect example, I definitely see now how this is screwing over. If you have any other examples, Peaches, that you can help that's more related to this, I'd be very grateful to hear them. It's because you're an agent. You kind of connect people, you bring them together. At the end of the day, it's two separate sales. Buying the land is one sale, and then buying the house afterwards, somebody else, is another part of that sale. If it's two separate sales, there's commission involved in both. And most importantly, Dad would not have been able to do any of this if it wasn't for you, one, searching for the plots in the first place, and two, again, giving him the very valuable information just before the negotiations. I think you're being used. I don't think you're being greedy. I think this is reinforced by the fact that you have explained that there's other examples of this being done in your family, so maybe there's been some like toxic, unhealthy learning that Dad needs to unlearn. Definitely not the drama. That is my badge. Whoa, do you agree, Peaches? Not the drama. Your license got in the leads. Tell him that you'll no longer help unless you are paid for it. Hang on a second. The fact that you said as well, my dad acts like I'm just being greedy, means that you've addressed this and your dad has said something. I was going to say, like, on this one, it maybe sounds like it wasn't as clear cut. It's the first time that this has happened. If I were in your position and giving the benefit of the doubt, I could see how this could have been a misunderstanding where he wasn't expecting to pay commission, in which case I wouldn't be pushing for a retrospective commission on the land, the sale that has now already happened. But I definitely feel like it's fair for you to say, going forward, I expect commission. And I feel like you've done that and he's gone, you're greedy. But really, I feel like Dad's being greedy because he's the one that's using you and the expense that you've put out in the training and the real estate licenses. There's cost involved to you for that, and he's not giving you your fair share. He would not have been able to do that if it wasn't for you. You were acting in a professional capacity. You deserve to get paid for your acting in a professional capacity that he was unable to do. It feels quite simple. Oh, everybody sucks here. Sit down together and hash out the different scenarios and what commission you'll get for each, and then only do the things where you think the payment is okay, or stop working with your dad completely. They are only working with you because you're easy to exploit. Your dad's not honest and not a team player and not a good person to work with, and your mum seems to be the same. What's she contributing for her share of the commission? Both of them are exploiting you. Ooh, I disagree with the badge, but I really do believe in this message of make it really clear. There was clearly some unclarity or terrible grammar from what was being expected by the parties in the transactions beforehand, but now you can make that really clear. And I also totally agree that you are perfectly within your right to just not work with your dad. It would suck because it seems that the only reason that you're doing this is because it's a family business that you can all be sort of like involved in, and that you got the license specifically for this, and that your dad's good at it. And like, obviously, if you can do this within a family, that's a really profitable little fun thing that you've got going on with each other. But just because they're family doesn't mean they can walk all over you. You absolutely deserve to get paid what you're worth. And I feel like sometimes that power dynamic as well, because they're a parent and you're a child, can be exploited in professional scenarios where people then, you know, blur some professional boundaries. It's bound to happen, but you are not wrong for wanting to enforce them. Not the drama, no more favours. Not the drama, I feel pretty confident about that one. As always, let me know your thoughts below, Peaches. And for our last fishing for today, we're doing something a little bit different. I don't know if you know Gorgeous Peach, but Jamie and I have a podcast, 1-800-DRAMA, can be found where all good podcasts can be found. Please do give us a follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and a rating on both of those platforms. It mean a whole lot. We're trying to grow it. It's a lot of fun, and at the end of each episode, we actually do an Am I the Drama, given specifically from a beach. We have been overwhelmed by the amount of support and also the amount of submissions. I feel so bad that so many of you are needing advice, and so to get through them a little bit quicker, I was thinking maybe we could do some on some of these Shaaba videos too. So, as we fish for this last time, this is from a peach directly bloop. Then there U-Haul is asking, am I the drama for wanting to ask my friend to stop mentioning his long distance relationship? Okay, let's see if we can help you out, U-Haul. I, 34, have been in a relationship, a classic friends to lovers story, with Hilda, 30, for just over a year, and we recently became engaged for the long term. We're long distance over different countries, but we make it work and try to see each other once every 1 to 2 months. Oh goodness, that is very tricky, bless you. We met online through a mutual friend called Milo, 35. He's my best friend in a small group chat, and the rest is history. Milo, meanwhile, has been in a 2-year relationship with Harriet, 28. The two met online years prior. I got to know Harriet in the same group as I did Hilda, and a couple of years after we all joined the group, Milo and Harriet started dating. Cute. Milo talks frequently in the chat about how he's going to miss Harriet when they can't see each other as frequently as spending half a week with each other. They used to live in different cities but have been in the same city for over a year. I can see your bitterness. I see you, cute little bit of lemon slice. Milo has said more than once in conversation to me and Hilda and has posted online about how tough it is being long distance with Harriet, and it's starting to sting a bit because of course you are really long distance with countries in between you. Ooh, let's finish it. I know he doesn't mean it maliciously, but he's not reading the room when I'm sat literally hundreds of miles away from my partner, and I know that it upsets Hilda too. I think Milo is blind to his privilege of being able to physically spend time with Harriet, and though I love him dearly, it is starting to grate on me. So am I the drama for wanting to ask my friend to stop mentioning his long distance relationship? Alright, no, I don't think you are the drama. Wait, I rescind that badge. Yes, I do rescind it. I was like, do I not? I do. And no drama here. That is the badge that I'm using. Oh, I love that I can use this badge. No drama here. That is my badge, and here is why. Let me say, U-Haul, I totally appreciate your pain in being in a long distance relationship. That sucks. You and Hilda deserve to be together forever. Forever is a very long time, but it's not long enough when it's so long distance. I get it. It hurts. At the same time, and totally isolated from you, I also appreciate Milo's pain that he can't be with Harriet all the time because all you want to do as lovers is just like be together all the time and sod even a pebble of distance between you. I get it. I also think that you are entirely right that there is a privilege to Milo not seeing the perspective of how it's even harder for you than it is for Milo. At the same time, I can also see how maybe Milo feels some solidarity with you. Maybe that's why he's bringing it up to you. Maybe he's like, oh, well, they have a wonderful relationship and they're far away from Hilda and they know how I feel to always want to be in the vicinity of your loved one and not be able to. And so he's mentioning that to you guys, not realizing that actually what he's potentially finding as relatable is hurting you. There's a lot of assumptions there, but I think that's my problem with putting a badge of you are the drama or not the drama, because you haven't had that conversation with Milo yet. Maybe when you do have that conversation, he's like, oh dude, I didn't see it that way. I see how this hurts you. And Hilda, I didn't mean to hurt either of you. I just thought that there could be some relatability to it, and I'm sorry, I will be more mindful going forward about talking about how much I miss Harriet in the vicinity of you both. I could do that on a separate chat with Harriet, in which case he would not be the drama at all. Or it might be that he's like, oh, shut up, we're exactly the same and how rude of you to put some oppression Olympics on here, and therefore be totally ignorant and beyond that just rude about your experience, in which case he would be the drama. But we don't know because you haven't had that conversation. So I don't think there's any drama yet. I don't think anyone's doing something wrong. I do think it's totally fine for you to feel some kind of way and upset. However, I do question maybe, and don't judge me too harshly, Peaches, I'm just hazarding a guess that maybe your sadness and hurt here actually isn't to do with the fact that they're talking about it, but like a jealousy that they get to see each other more often than you get to see Hilda, which again, I would totally understand. But maybe a chunk of that hurt therefore deserves to be directed to the situation of long distance relationships and not towards Milo, who's also, like you, just wanting to be really close to their loved one. What do you think, Peaches? Do you agree? Let me know your thoughts. I'm not saying that any of you are to blame. Truly, no drama here. I actually think it's just really cute that you're both missing your loved ones so dearly. I felt this so much when I was long distance with Jamie, and I do this because to me it felt long distance. We were hours and hours away from each other and we would complain so much and we would argue so much in those moments, but they all come from a place of love. And so I find them to be the most silly and frivolous and romantic arguments to have, because the only reason that they're happening is that you love each other so much and you want to see more of each other. Wishing you all the best of luck and thanking you, Peach, for your submission. Fellow Peaches, if you would like to give U-Haul some advice, please feel free to do so downstairs in the comments. Just remember to be kind. If you enjoyed this video, maybe give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Subscribing super helps me out. And remember that Surfshark is also here for your VPN needs. I'll catch you next time with another video. Be kind and have a great day. Bye.